Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or wherever you are across the globe. My name is Péter Árvai. I'm the Deputy Director of Internationalization at the University of Pécs in Hungary. And in the next roughly an hour, we're going to discuss the current issues on visa application and regulations regarding entering Hungary as an international student, an international freshman, or while we are waiting for others to join, I'm going to talk to you a bit about how I imagined today's session. What are the exact topics that we're going to address, and if you feel that you have any question throughout this webinar, or you feel that there are topics that we left out and we should mention it, then you can just have a question in the comment section, leave your question in the comment section, or you can also write us a private message here on Facebook Messenger, or you can also leave us an email at international@pt.hu. And we're also going to share some related websites in the chat section for you to browse further. This webinar will stay here on Facebook, so you will be able to rewatch it if you need to go somewhere and you won't be able to stay until the end. Then that's absolutely fine. You can get back and watch the remaining parts later on. That's all right. First, I think I'm going to go through the topics that we're going to that I've planned for today, and then we're going to get to the questions at the chat section, and try to answer that. So why today's session is really important is because due to the really fortunate current COVID situation in Hungary, as over 55% of the total population has already been vaccinated, and the number of daily new cases has declined radically in the last couple of months. Then we decided that we will start the September and the autumn semester with on-campus education. This means that we require all of our international students to be present in Pécs at our campuses during the fall semester. Obviously, we know that there are many things that we know that can have an effect on the date of your arrival. So we will try to be as flexible as possible regarding what is the last day to enter Hungary and start your studies. But it's important that as of today we plan to start the semester as a on-campus, in-presence education. And this is why we thought that organizing such a webinar could be a good idea to share with you the most important things that you need to know about how to apply for a visa, how to secure your spot for the September intake. So first, I'm going to talk to you about the visa application. What are the steps and what are the documents that are needed? And then we're going to discuss a bit on the visa interview. How should you prepare yourself? What kind of questions you might face there? And also, then we're going to get to the current rules and regulations regarding entering Hungary. As of today, I hope that this session will be a useful one for you. So I see that there are still already a couple of you are here, so we're going to get to it. First thing first, with the visa application. We're going to, as I said, leave the link in the comment section, but basically there are two main groups that we can talk about. For those, there are students who do not need a visa to enter Hungary. Those are mainly the students coming from the European Union or the European Economic Area, or countries like the United States or South Korea, Japan, or some Latin American countries. You can basically travel to Hungary without a visa, and when you enter Hungary and when you travel to Pécs, you will be able to go to the immigration office and ask for the residence permit, which you will need to have with you throughout your stay in Hungary. For those who are coming from other countries, so non-European countries and not countries that are visa-free countries, then you need to apply for a long-term so-called D-type visa at the closest Hungarian consulate to you. To do that, you need several documents, and this is where I will get to it, because you apply for the D-type visa at the consulate. There's an online appointment making system, but in many cases you need to make an appointment online. But when you get to this website, because there's a central website of our Ministry of Foreign Affairs where you can book an appointment at the closest consulate, you might see that all the booking options are already booked in the foreseeable future. But it doesn't mean that you cannot get an appointment on time. In that case, if you cannot book it on yourself, please send an email to the consulate directly, and they will provide you with an interview and with an appointment for the visa application. It is also very important when you make the visa when you book the appointment, it's important to have all the relevant documents on you or on the way, to make sure that when you receive the date, when you receive the appointment and you go there, you will have all the documents with you which will be necessary. That's really important. Yes, when you go to the consulate, there are several documents that you need to bring along with you. That's one thing. And the other thing that will happen there is the interview. First, we're going to discuss the documents that you need, and then we're going to talk about the interview that you will take there. Regarding the documents, obviously you will need there's an application form that you need to fill out and sign. You need to bring your passport, obviously. You need to bring an extra passport size photo of you. It's important regarding the passport that the validity of the passport has to exceed the requested visa by at least 3 months. So you need to have a passport that will be valid a bit later on after your application. You also need, of course, the letter of acceptance or letter of confirmation from the university, from us, basically. If you paid your tuition fees, or as a scholarship holder, if you did all your obligations, that we already sent you this letter of acceptance. This document is a bilingual document, both in English and in Hungarian. That has your personal data on it. It also states what are you going to study, when your studies commence, that if you're a tuition fee paying student, that you already paid at least one semester of your tuition. And it also contains, it's very important that it also contains the exact location of your dormitory where you will be staying, because it's important that at the visa interview or during the visa application process, you need to somehow prove that you will have you have a confirmed place to stay at upon arrival. It's important that, and this is why we are very happy to say that we can provide dormitory placement for every first year international student if they request it, and this is automatically a part of your letter of acceptance, so that if you bring it, then it should be absolutely all right. Basically there's two other things that are needed, three other things that are needed. One is that you need to provide a proof that you will be able to maintain yourself in Hungary, meaning that you will have, or you already have, the financial means to support yourself while you are studying here. It is true that as a student you are eligible to work in Hungary, but it's important for the authorities that you can prove that you will be able to maintain yourself without actually working here. There's always a lot of question about how much money do you need to have on your bank account in order to be to have a positive response regarding that. So what is the sufficient amount of money that you need to have? Unfortunately, there's no clear answer to that, because that's a complex question. What I can tell you as a basic thing is that what we used to say is that the average living costs as an international student in Pécs is roughly about 400-500 euros per month. This will provide you a very decent level of life in Hungary. So if you have that amount for a couple of months in advance on your account, then that might be good. But it's also important that when you go to the consulate and you try to certify that you have the sufficient financial means. How you do it? You basically you bring along your bank account statement from the last couple of months, and it's always better if it can be seen on the bank account statement that there are regular incoming amounts on your account, rather than seeing that there's no actual moving on the bank account, and sometimes out of the blue a bigger amount of money arrives. So that's because that always raises questions about if that, where did it come from, why did it come such a big amount. So it's important, it always looks better for the authorities to see a regular, even lower income that you can prove. It's also important that according to the Hungarian regulations, only close family members can be a sponsor to you. So basically, it can be your parents and your brother or sister. So no uncles, no no brother-in-law, no grandfather, no friends, no others. It's just a close family members that can be your sponsor. It's very important. Of course, the best is if you have your own bank account on your name that has a regular income that will be that can prove that you'll be able to cover yourself while you are studying here. It's also important that and why it's hard to say what is the sufficient amount, because the other thing that you need to prove is that you have a travel insurance that can cover the period of the arrival and an extra couple of weeks. But you can choose on your own whether you sign up for such a travel insurance. I think this is the easiest way. So I think I would suggest everyone to have a travel insurance for a couple of weeks after your arrival, because that's the easiest. But you obviously can make the choice that you do not have a travel insurance, but in that case you need to have an extra amount of money on your bank account that you can use to cover any health related expenses that might come up. About the travel insurance, I think the easiest is for the first couple of weeks or months is to sign up for something in your home country, and while you are here in Hungary, you can have a long-term insurance. Of course, it's important to point out that scholarship holder students, so those who are coming through the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship or diaspora scholarship or the scholarship program for Christian young people, they will have a Hungarian health insurance, so they do not need to have an extra insurance on the long run, but even for them a travel insurance is a very good idea. And apart from these, there is also a visa application fee that you need to pay, which is 60 euros. So that's about the documents. So basically it's the application form, your passport, an extra passport size photograph, the letter of acceptance from the university, your bank account statement stating that you will have enough money to maintain yourself, the travel insurance, and basically a certificate states that you will have a place to stay at after your arrival. But as I said, our letter of acceptance that you receive from us already has this information in it. So basically these are the documents that you need. There are many questions about how long does the process take. Well, it really depends on the country and the time when you apply. Obviously, if you apply now, it will be a very tight schedule. But I would say that it's absolutely doable. So if you already have your letter of acceptance, or even if you will receive it in the coming days, then most probably you'll be able to arrive on time to the campus late August, early September. Yes. Now let's talk about the visa interview. What do they curious about the interview? What kind of questions you're going to have? Well, first thing first, it's really important that you shouldn't worry. Okay, it's not an exam, but still you can fail if you don't prepare yourself and if you don't come there with a cool head. What they need to have a strict information on at the consular interview is that you really have the level of English to be to be a student in Hungary. So I think as if you receive the letter of acceptance for us, that means that you speak good English. You just need to be relaxed and be yourself and talk confidently, and then this one is going to be absolutely fine. You will receive some questions about why did you choose Hungary at all? Why did you choose that given university, the University of Pécs? Maybe you can mention what other universities were in the contest. So these are kind of questions that you need to, I think, a bit of prepare yourself, but you already know these answers because you most probably put it in your motivation letter. So it's important to have some answers to that. You might also receive some questions about, general questions about Hungary. Where is Hungary located? What is the population? What is the capital of Hungary? What are the neighboring countries? These kind of basic questions. I think the easiest is if you just go to Wikipedia and read about Hungary. There's a detailed article about Hungary. You read it, you're going to have some glimpse of it if you don't know already, and that should be enough. You also need to know that in some cases, in some consulates, there might be, at the visa interview, there might be some basic questions regarding basic science, meaning that you might need to answer to a math test just to show that you really, but these you're really able to conduct higher education studies in Hungary, regardless of what you are going to study in Hungary. So even if you apply to psychology, you might receive a very basic mathematics test. Excuse me. So yes, basically that's about the interview. and based on your performance at the interview, based on the documents that you file in, the consul and the local consulate will give a suggestion, will give an opinion to the immigration office in Hungary, and the immigration office in Hungary will issue your visa. Again, it's really hard to guess because the exact time frame of a visa application really depends on the country where you are at. But I would say that those who are here in this session today and already received the letter of acceptance, or will receive it in the next 1 or 2 weeks, that will be absolutely all right, and you'll be able to travel here, no worries. So we've done with the visa. You received the visa. Congratulations. Now it's time to travel to Hungary, right? And this is where we should talk about the current rules and regulations on entering Hungary. Now, I would say so. Basically, there's two things and one big question about this topic. The big question is so if you have a D-type visa, so if you receive the visa, you will be able to travel to Hungary and enter Hungary. That's for sure. The question is whether you will need to go to quarantine or not. And what if you don't have a visa because you are coming from the European Union or countries like that? If you let's talk about first those who do not need to quarantine upon arrival. So if you have your visa and you have the European Union's digital COVID certificate or the Hungarian COVID certificate, you can enter without any restrictions. Also, you can enter without any restriction from certain countries, and these are the following at the moment. It's Albania, and we're going to share this information, so don't worry about it. It's Albania, Bahrain, Cyprus, Macedonia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Morocco, Moldova, Mongolia, Montenegro, Turkey and Ukraine. These, if you have a COVID vaccination certificate from these countries, you can enter without any restriction, without any quarantine. And it's also for those who have a COVID certificate from the Switzerland. That's also true for them. You can also enter without any restriction if you can prove that you have been if you've gone through the COVID-19 in the last 6 months. So if you receive a certificate from your doctor that you got the COVID-19 in the last 6 months and you are now healthy, then that also means that in our case that it proves your immunity. Also, if you are coming from the neighboring countries such as Croatia, Austria, Slovenia, Slovakia, and Serbia, or with a train or with a car, then you can enter without any restriction. That's also important. If you don't have any of these certificates, if you don't have any of these proofs, then you need to go to 10 days of quarantine, and we're going to get back to the quarantine a bit later on, because we need to get a bit to those who cannot have a visa but they need to travel, but they would like to travel to Hungary. For example, if they are coming from the United States or South Korea or some Latin American countries where you can enter Hungary without a visa. In your case, you need to file for a a police form, an equity request to enter Hungary. This is an online form. You will be able to find it on our website as well. So you need to find it, and you will receive an extra certificate or grant for entry from the Hungarian police, and you will be able to enter Hungary without that. With this, but you will also need to be on in quarantine. Now let's talk a bit about quarantine upon arrival. We provide the quarantine placement in our dormitories to all of our students. So if you need to stay for 10 days in quarantine, there's no worries. You arrive to the airport, and from the airport you go directly to the dormitory that is stated in your acceptance letter, and you'll be able to go to quarantine in the dormitory. This is how we did it last year, and it went absolutely well. You know, as the University of Pécs is fortunate enough to have a medical school, to have 27 different clinics, then we can have a very proper and very thorough process for taking care of those who need to be in quarantine for 10 days. Obviously, this comes with a different price. This is also shared on the website. I think this link will also be in the chat section somewhere. But it's very, very affordable, because we wanted to have it a student-friendly price. You can choose two options. Basically, you can have the placement only, which means that you need to cover your food, but we can offer you the full board as well, so you receive breakfast, lunch and dinner from us. It comes with a price of around 10 euros per day if you are staying in the dormitory after that. And as I said, the quarantine has to be about 10 days. I mean, not about it. It has to be precisely 10 days. About the I see a lot of questions about the negative PCR test and whether these 10 days can be shortened or not. It is still undecided, because according to our the previous year's experience, what we saw is that basically, if we want to manage the two tests at least 2 days apart from each other after your arrival, and then issue the certificate of your negative results in order to be exempt from the quarantine, this will eat up also around 10 days. So it won't really make a difference whether you stay for 10 days or you try to do the two tests to shorten this period. So we are at the moment a bit unsure whether we will provide the opportunity of free testing, because most of you will be vaccinated anyways. So that'd be the idea about how to enter Hungary. As I saw in many cases, I traveled twice abroad in the last couple of weeks, even outside of Europe as well. And what I saw from international traveling is that basically everything is back on track. What I saw is that everything is going smoothly, even though you need to have some extra documents with you. Some airlines might require a negative PCR a maximum 72 hours prior to boarding. You need to be cautious of these things. But apart from that, what I saw is that life is back at the airports, and traveling is just as it was before. Arriving to Hungary, of course, I'm a Hungarian citizen, so it might be a bit different for me. But what I saw is that arriving to Hungary was a really smooth procedure, so you shouldn't be worried about that. And as I said, if you have a D-type visa, you can enter Hungary. If you have a vaccination card from the before mentioned countries or areas that you can arrive without quarantine. But if you need to do this 10 days quarantine, we can offer you the placement at our dormitories at a very student-friendly price, even with the full board, with 3 meals per day. I just so and this is the place or this is the time where I will be just going through the question section, okay, and try to answer all the questions that you might have. I think there's a question, how long is the quarantine would be shortened by doing PCR tests? As I said, that it's 10 days. Legally, it's possible to shorten, but according to our previous previous experience from last year, even if you do the 2 negative tests, you will stay in quarantine for 8-9 days minimum. So we're not sure whether it's worth it. There was at the beginning of the section there was a question about what are the currently accepted vaccines in Hungary. Well, I can tell you what are we using at the moment, and we're using Pfizer, we're using Moderna, we're using AstraZeneca, we're using Sinopharm, one of the Chinese vaccines, and we're using the Sputnik 5, the Russian vaccine as well. And this comes with a very important consequence, is that Hungary is not only having a very high level of vaccination, as I said, it's over 55% of the full population, but we were also fortunate enough that we, a couple of months ago, around April, we started to vaccinate our international students as well for absolutely free. And as of today, this is still the case. So if, as an international student, if you didn't get your vaccines so far, if you come to Hungary, you will be able to be vaccinated for free with one of these vaccinations. Do we have to tie up with the dormitory for the whole academic year? No, not really. But you sign up. So there's one. You need to stay in the dormitory for at least 1 semester. Or actually, you can obviously move out, but you need to pay for at least the first semester if you move in. You can also choose that you only stay in the dormitory for the period of the quarantine and then go out for a rented flat. Or you stay for 1 semester and you then for the second semester you go out for the rented flat, or you can stay the whole year, and if you like it there you can also reapply based on your academic performance in the first year, and you can stay for the second year as well. Can we get our medical insurance, bank account, student card done before quarantine? No, obviously if you the first thing you need to do is quarantining. What I haven't said yet is that the quarantine dormitory opens and on the 18th of August. So if you arrive on the 18th of August, you can do your 10 days and then you'll be free on the 28th, and you still have a good week before the semester starts, because the semester officially starts on the 6th of September. But you need to be cautious, and you most probably will receive some information about it from your faculty, that the orientation dates, the faculty orientations are starting in some cases a bit earlier, on the week before the 6th of September. There are some faculties who are having orientation days on the 3rd of September, which is a Friday, so make sure that you arrive on time. And you also, and again, if you are coming from some countries, then you don't need to do the quarantine at all, so you have a bit more of a time. What if I'm in quarantine when classes or orientation starts? Well, there's two things. First is that we will try to be as flexible as possible with that, as I said that earlier. So of course in the first couple of weeks there will be a lot of flexibility, because some of you might not be able to arrive on time, some of you will be still on quarantine. I think in many study programs you will be able to start off online, or at least there will be some some study materials that you will be able to follow from the quarantine as well. But it's also important to highlight that that after a certain point it is your own personal responsibility to be present at the time that you are required to be on campus. So as I said, if you need to do the 10 days quarantine before the semester starts, you need to schedule your arrival according to that. Can we request halal food during quarantine? Very important question. Yes, based on last year we were able to manage it. Obviously, there are many students on our campus who are coming from countries where halal food is the main idea of eating, and we of course can provide it. There are many. Actually, there are many restaurants in Pécs that provide halal food, so that's absolutely doable. May I know if all classes in the upcoming fall semester are available offline or online? We plan, as of today, and we will stick to that, we plan to have an on-campus education from September, and we require all the students to be present. Will there be anyone to pick us up from the airport? The university itself do not provide airport pickup, but on our website you can find many options, very great options, very affordable options that for companies that bring you from the airport directly to the quarantine or to your flat or dormitory. Is there any age restrictions when it comes to the visa process? Well, that's a tough one because it really depends on several things. So as a general rule, I would say there is no age limit for that, but it depends on what kind of study level are you applying to. So if you're applying for a foundation year and you are 40 years old, there is questionable whether you really want to start studying academic English in order to enroll in a study program at the middle of your life. But for example, for a PhD program, that's absolutely doable to apply at the age of 35 because it's really logical in a sense of how your life is going. It also raises a question when you finished high school 10 years ago and then starting a bachelor's degree. So it depends on a lot of things. What is really important is that if you're applying for a visa for study purposes, that you need to prove that you really want to study and you come here to study. This is the main thing to prove. And if you can say that, okay, this is I arrived at a point of my career when I need an extra qualification in order to move along with my career, and I thought that studying at the University of Pécs is the best option for me in order to move forward with my career, then that's a very acceptable reason. But if you already have a master's degree in, let's say, engineering, you are 45 and you're applying for a Bachelor of Social Work, it's really hard to believe that your real intention is to study here. What if I took Sputnik vaccination in my country, Syria? Do I need quarantine? Yes, because we don't have at the moment the Hungarian government does not accept the Syrian vaccination card. So you should prepare as you'll be quarantined. Can I use the dormitory for quarantine after 20 September because I can be late? Yes, that's also something that we need to touch. as a topic that the quarantine will be available for several months, because we know that some of you will not be able to arrive on time. But again, if you know when you will be arrived, and if you know that your arrival or the date when you can leave quarantine is overlapping with the semester start, you should let your faculty know immediately and discuss with your faculty coordinator what can you do about it, how will it affect your studies, what are the things that you can do online, what are the study materials that you can reach online, and you can keep up with the on-campus education. Do I have to get vaccinated in Hungary even if I am vaccinated in India? No, if you are vaccinated in India, that's fine. You need to do the quarantine, but after that you do not need to get revaccinated. Is it mandatory in Hungary to be vaccinated? No, it is not mandatory to be vaccinated, but it's important to highlight that we already have, we in Hungary have our own vaccination card. If you get vaccinated, you can, get this card issued to you. And during the tougher parts of pandemic, so if there will be a fourth wave of COVID in Hungary, there might be cases when you can only go to restaurants or bars if you have this immunity card. Okay, so currently everything is open. At the moment you can visit restaurants, spas, hotels, whatever, without any kind of immunity card or without being vaccinated. But there might be a time again when you need to prove your immunity somehow in order to be eligible to visit such public places. If someone who have received COVID vaccine, do we need to quarantine? It depends on where did you get the vaccination. If it's from a country where we mutually accept our immunity cards or vaccination cards with Hungary, then you do not need to. Or if you are eligible to issue the European digital COVID certificate, that's also the thing that you do not need to be in quarantine. In case that I don't have a bank statement, is cash accepted? No, I don't think so. I think you need to. I think that the bank account is the proper way to prove that you have sufficient amounts to maintain yourself. Bearing in mind that bringing cash with you throughout different borders, it's also risky, to put it this way. Okay, I'm just scrolling through because there's a lot of questions. Thank you for that. Just to go off topic here, will we have problems with the charging sockets plugs? Very good question. It depends on where are you coming from. We use the continental European power sockets. I think it's type G and H, but I'm not sure. But you can look it up on our website. Let me find it for you. Yeah, I'm just going to answer to you here. If one stated the wrong arrival date in the hostel booking questionnaire, or if one arrives earlier than the date he/she stated, in the online booking, is it likely to affect his or her accommodation for quarantine or stop? If your date of arrival has changed, please let us know, okay, and we can change it for you in the system. Otherwise, it's not that big of a deal, but it's better if we know about it, okay? What if I have the first dose of Covishield? Can I get the second dose here? Unfortunately, I'm not sure whether we... but Covishield, okay, because Covishield is basically the... Yeah, I think... It seems that Covishield is the same as AstraZeneca, isn't it? But it's... and it's authorized in the European Union. I think that yeah, I don't know. I have to look into it because that's a bit of a. So we do not use Covishield, but we use AstraZeneca, and I think the two are identical, but I'm not sure. What if my country still doesn't allow any international flight? Will there be online classes provided? As I said, as a rule of thumb, we require everyone to be on campus for an offline education. So I would ask you to investigate whether you can go to other airports in the neighboring countries, maybe not by flying there, but on road or whatever. If no, and if the case is that you just simply cannot travel abroad due to COVID-19, then please contact your faculty coordinator or write us an email at international@pt.hu and we will figure something out for you. Unfortunately, we do not have general rules for that because this is a very special issue. Fortunately, most of the countries are already open. Are applications into the school over, please? It depends on the study program that you would like to apply to. Some courses are still open with the application, but only a few of them. Any advice you can give for renting a flat? Well, the main idea is that the best is to go through a real estate agency. On our website, we have some listed that provides a high level, service for those who are looking for flats, and those companies are very trustworthy. Yes, there's a link in the answer to your question. You can contact those service providers, and they will be able to help you to find a flat. They'll be able to locate you the right range according to your budget. What I can tell you as a tip is that Pécs is a very small city, meaning that location of the flat is maybe not that important, especially if you are on a tight budget. So don't be afraid if your flat is not in the city center, because everything is reachable in a 15 minutes of buses maximum. I got accepted but didn't pay the fees yet because the link they sent didn't work. I contacted the faculty but didn't get response from them and the deadline is over. What should I do now? Please email us if you get accepted. We'll make it sure that you'll be able to pay and you'll be able to arrive on campus on time, okay? So please send us an email about your issue and we'll get to it as soon as possible. Would you recommend exchanging currency in the airport or somewhere in town and to get SIM card right straight away? So what I would suggest you first is about currency. I do not really recommend exchanging currency at the airport. I would recommend to exchange it when you arrive to the city because the exchange rates are a lot better. I also would recommend you to open a bank account here in Hungary and transfer some money there, because then this will be the easiest and cheapest way to take care of your bank account and your money, and not to carry around too much cash. About the other question is the SIM card. I think there are many providers in Hungary and in Pécs where you can go to get a SIM card. If you arrive to Pécs, the easiest is if you go to one of the shops. There are some big brands where you can get a very good package for you. So again, when you arrive to Pécs, when you get settled, then this can be issued as well. Will I have to quarantine if I am fully vaccinated? It depends on where did you get the vaccine, because it depends on the immunity card or the vaccination card that you have. Can one do a transfer from maybe pharmacy to general medicine? Yes, that's absolutely possible. Do we need to book a flight ticket before our visa appointment? I wouldn't recommend it. Normally I wouldn't recommend it, because if anything comes up, if your visa get delayed or something, then you might not going to make your flight. However, in this COVID situation, that might not be a bad idea, because what I saw is that there's a big flexibility on the refundings from the and changing of schedules from the flight companies. So I think the first thing is that if you can, you pick a flight ticket that you would like to have or you like to buy, and then ask the provider, the flight company, about the refund policy, because I saw some big airlines who have 100% flexibility, changeability, rescheduling, and refund. For example, Air France, I think it's 100% refundable because of the uncertainties of COVID. How to get the travel insurance? Well, the travel insurance is, I think, something that you need to buy at your home country. If you go to any travel agencies, then they will be able to help you. Yeah, I think that would be the best. I'm Japanese. I would like to take out your private insurance before entering for my visa application. Is there any way I can enter Hungary without it? Yes, that's possible to enter Hungary without an insurance. What I would suggest is to have a travel insurance for a couple of weeks, and when you arrive to Hungary, then you can sign up for a long-term health insurance here locally. It costs about 200 euros a year, so I think it's really an affordable package, and it's always it's always better to be safe than sorry. In South Africa, at the moment, the vaccine isn't available for individuals aged 34 and below. Will they allow me to still travel to Hungary? Yes, you will be allowed to travel to Hungary. You will need to stay in quarantine for 10 days, and later on, as an international student, as of today, you'll be able to get your vaccine here in Hungary for free. If you are vaccinated in Ghana, do you need to be vaccinated in Hungary? No. If you already get your vaccination, you will not need it to be revaccinated in Hungary. Can I open bank account before arriving to Hungary? I don't think so. I think you need to be there in presence. You need to show your ID cards, passports, and you need to put there your signature yourself. So there's no online bank account opening for international students in Hungary, I guess. Can we arrive 1 month earlier prior to the registration period, and can we be able to stay in the Pécs dormitory? The earliest date to enter the dormitory for a quarantine is 18th of August, so that's the earliest when you can arrive. If I got vaccinated in Denmark, is it accepted in Hungary? If you get the EU digital COVID certificate, then yes, that's absolutely all right. My son is not vaccinated. Can he study in Hungary? Is it not a problem? No, it's not a problem. People without vaccination can travel to Hungary, can enter the country. They need to do 10 days of quarantine, and then they'll be able to start their studies without any problem. And then, as I said, the students are eligible for free vaccination in Hungary. If embassy refused the visa, is our tuition fee refundable? Yes. If your visa is refused, then we refund the tuition fee. It's important that the application fee is not refundable. As a scholarship holder, should I have 400, 500 euros in my bank account, or is it just for non-scholarship holders? For scholarship holders, it's an easier thing because you have you will have an extra scholarship, an extra monthly allowance that we receive and will support your everyday life here. But it's important to understand that the scholarship that you receive will not cover all of your expenses. All right, so it's important to understand that it's it's not going to cover everything. I had COVID nearly half a month ago, and I have been treated, and I'm willing to get vaccinated in Hungary. When would it be possible for me to get the COVID vaccine? It depends. When you arrive to Hungary, you get your student status active, and then you can register for vaccination, and from that time on, it can be days, it can be weeks. It depends on the current number of registered for vaccination. Is it possible to change dormitory? Yes, but not in the first couple of weeks. So you need to understand that it might, might happen that when you arrive, you're not going to get well along with your roommate or people who you live nearby in the dormitory, or you don't really like the dormitory itself. It's possible to change dormitory, but again, not in the first weeks, because the first couple of weeks are about settling in, arriving, and once we saw that at least most of the people have arrived, then we can start the procedures of changing rooms or changing dormitories. When could be the right time to fulfill the police online form to ask for the permission to travel, after having your official visa or before, and how long does it take to have a response? I think the best is if you already have the visa, and you might already booked your tickets. How long does it take to have a response? Based on the last year's experience, in many cases it was hours, but it was maybe 1 or 2 days delay, the most. If it takes more than a couple of days, then you should contact us, because it means that maybe your request is lost in the system somewhere. You mentioned that we would be quarantined for 10 days if not vaccinated. What's the cost of the 10 days in quarantine? The 10 days, the full 10 days is roughly about 100 euros, including the 3 meals per day. There was another question what I wanted to refer to. I checked with the embassy and they said that they cannot accept my application without a letter from your school certifying that I'm automatically covered by private insurance upon entry or enrollment. Please email us, and let us know which consulate are you referring to, and if you know who did you talk to about this, because this is, as I read it right now, it is something that that is not what I know, and we just wanted to, we would really like to get after it our own. My registration process starts from 25th January 2022. Can I arrive in December? No, in that case you should arrive somewhere around late January. Is the visa interview the same for all countries? Well, in general terms, yes, but there might be some special questions or some special sites that are different from country to country. But the general purpose and the general idea of the interview is the same. My interview is scheduled for Monday next week. When should I expect to get a decision after my interview? But it really depends. It can be a couple of days up to maybe 2 weeks. It really depends on the current flow of issues at the immigration office, but they might be a bit overwhelmed because this is the time when everyone is arriving. I will arrive to the dorm on the 20th, so my quarantine period ends on the 13th. Will I be able to move into the official dorm at that time, or should I continue paying the next days until 4th? No, you can move automatically right after your quarantine is over to the official dormitory from the 13th. From the 13th of August. Does a travel insurance is suitable for a visa? Yes. The travel insurance is fine to cover your insurance, but you need to, at the interview, you need to say, and not only say, but you need to act accordingly as well, that upon arrival you will sign up for a long-term health insurance in Hungary. If I leave quarantine before the 4th of September, I think I already answered a very similar question. So basically, if you arrive, so if your quarantine is over before the 4th of September, then that's no problem. You can directly go to the dormitory for yourself. It's no problem. When can we pay the dormitory fees? You can pay it upon arrival. Okay, so when you arrive to the dormitory, you can pay it in cash with Hungarian forints. If you don't have Hungarian forints on you, you can pay it also with a credit card. How to consider a COVID infection certificate as an accepted or certified document? Well, it has to be an official document, from your hospital or clinic or doctor, in English, stating that you were in the last 6 months you went through COVID, you were positive, and you are proven to be healed and proven to be healthy again. When do we need to fill out the police form? Well, basically, the best is to fill it out. But the first thing is, if you have a visa, you do not need to fill out the police form. Okay, so that's very important, that the police form, the police equity request, is only for those who would like to enter Hungary without a visa. When should we arrive exactly if I'm from Syria? Well, as I said, that the official semester start date is 6th of September, but the orientation is starting from the week before. So the best is, even if you also would like to stay in the quarantine for 10 days, the best if you arrive somewhere around 25 of August. Then you will have plenty of time to stay in the quarantine and then settle in the city and everything. How much price the dormitory for 1 month? It costs 40,000 Hungarian forints, which equals today around 115 euros per month. So yeah, 115, 120 euros per month. This dormitory fee includes the weekly cleaning of your room as well, and the changing of your bed linens and cleaning of your bed linens as well. I have indicated my middle name in the application, therefore my letter of acceptance and award have my middle name, while it is indicated in my foreign passport but written in Russian letters. Is it acceptable? Well, if your passport is written in Russian letters, then the best is if you ask the person who sent you the letter of award or the letter of acceptance to change it to be exactly the same name as it is in your passport. That's the best, that's the easiest. Are all dormitory prices the same? Yes, they are all line priced. Okay. As I can see, there are no more questions at the moment. I'm going to leave here in the chat our basic page for the visa application. As I said earlier, please do send us an email if you need anything more. Please don't hesitate to contact us via again, email or Facebook message or Instagram DMs or whatever, how you would like to reach out to us, and let's stay in touch. So it's important that if you have any question, if something is not 100% clear for you, it's better to ask. Okay, it's better to ask, because this way then we'll be on the same page. Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining on today. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for this 281 questions in the chat section. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I hope it was informative for you and it was useful. Again, if you need anything, just reach out to us, and yeah, have a good one, and see you on campus in a bit over than a month. Take care. Goodbye.